All right. Welcome to It's Time's Picks. My name is Drake. This is Joey, and we are going to break down this week's fight card so you don't have to. Starting off with fight one, we have Cameron Saymon and Steven Kozlow. Joey, I'll let you take this one first.
So Kozlow is actually taking this on short notice. I don't know too much about the kid. I just know he's a BJJ nerd overall wise. All 6 of his wins are first round. And what was it? All 3? Yeah. All 6 in the first round, 100% finish rate.
Yeah.
So the only
his
thing about it,
cardio is questionable.
how his cardio is. Last time I heard his striking was mediocre. It's not like he's unknown with it, but he hasn't gotten a finish with it. Who the hell is fighting again? How the hell you say that motherfucker's last name?
Cameron Saymon, who looks like a complete and total legit prospect.
So I know he was on a Contender Series. He was on a Contender Series, and I remember hearing Dana White say he could be the next big thing.
Absolutely. And I completely agree with him.
He's well-rounded. He has good combinations. He doesn't have the best power, but like I said, that overall preciseness in his strikes will easily just be fine with that. He has sneaky BJJ, but of course I think his opponent is of course better in that area.
So I think so. Kozlow is obviously it's submission or bust, and I think it's going to be first round or bust. I don't think he's going to get it. Saymon has. I watched a couple of his fights. He's got the grappling and wrestling chops to keep up with this guy and keep it away from his neck. So the only thing that you're going to be waiting for in this fight is Saymon to fucking knock him out.
It's either Saymon maybe by like a round 2, late round, maybe early round 3 knockout, where I think he gets a 30-27.
I agree. Definitely.
And his price tag's at what, 9 point?
Yeah, without a first round finish, I'm not sure he pays it off. So I'm
9.3.
Probably going to stay away from him. But
if you want to take a flyer on GPP with Kozlow, hey, 6'9", he has 6 first round subs. So far from what I've seen, his favorite one is the rear naked choke. But
all he has to do is get a hold of that neck, and it might be over.
So maybe depends on how many lines you're playing, maybe a dart throw. But I think first fight, I'm probably going to potentially stay away.
I agree. All right. Second fight, we got Daniel Da Silva and I'm probably butcher this, but Vinicius Salvador. So I'll start with this one. Daniel Da Silva, man, I've tried to stay high on him, but man, he has got the worst fight IQ I have ever seen. He comes out hot, which is fine, but man, he puts himself into horrible situations, and that's why he's lost all 3 fights. So I did not take him in this one. I think Salvador is just going to wait for him to make a mistake and punish him, and it's going to be over.
The only thing with Salvador, I know his last fight in the Contender Series, he was like a 4-1 underdog. And he just absolutely steamrolled the guy within 2.
Oh, yeah, that was Shannon Ross. He just completely annihilated.
Just said, just underdog my ass. Just use his length, his 1-2s, and just absolutely steamrolled him.
Yep. And so I think Da Silva is going to come out. He's going to try that little 1-2 kick. He's going to try to take him down. And then instead of him getting the takedown, he's going to get popped, and it's going to be over somewhere in the first or second round.
But one thing I will say, I think this is a fight you got to target. I think, Salvador, I think he's been knocked out. Don't get me wrong. He also has his ways of losses. 3 out of his 4 are by knockouts. And I would give Da Silva the BJJ advantage in this fight. Salvatore is more of that cocky. He tries to act like Anderson Silva. He's not Anderson Silva. He tries to act cocky with his back against the cage, tries to come forward, just lean with it, rock with it, with the head movement. And that's the only thing you get a wide because Da Silva is wild. He might try to go for a jumping knee with his hands are down. Honestly, Da Silva's a live dog, but as I said, his IQ does scare the shit out of me.
He's always going to be a live dog. But that said, this is going to be his 4th fight in the UFC. He's lost the other 3. And he loses this, and he's going to get handed his walking papers, which, I mean, if he comes out the way he did in the first 3, he's done already. I mean, there's just no doubt about it.
I think this is a fight you got to target. All I can say is pick your side, but I would say my slight leans on Salvador, but we'll see how the rest of the night looks. But I don't have a lock on him, but he's in my pool.
I will probably not take him at all. Anybody that loses to Francisco Figueiredo.
I said Salvador.
No, I know. Well,
Oh, I
with
know.
De Silva.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely all over Salvador, and I think he's going to get an early finish. Next fight, we got Eric Silva and TJ Brown. And I know you've been high on TJ Brown in the past, but he's just been trash.
His
I don't
IQ
think
terrible.
he's got all the makings of a decent fighter. He's got a good, solid game, ground game, striking. He just can't put it all together.
It's terrible. And Silva, you got to be careful with this fight. Like Silva has power in his hands. He's not the most fluent striker, but he sets up his power. And once he gets a hold of you, 9 out of 10 times you're going for a ride. And he's going to look for a sub over position. He's a very aggressive finisher.
Yeah, the second he knocks you down, he's coming for that submission or the ground and pound. So I mean, one way or another, I don't think
Brown's durable though. He's I'll give him credit. He's durable because he does go to decisions.
And well, it's because he's good at avoiding getting hit a lot.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a round one finish, but 8,300 with Silva potentially getting takedowns, a little bit of control, maybe a round. I want to say maybe a late round 2 finish, even a round 3. Let's say he gets like 3 to 4 takedowns, and then gets a finish. What's that? Maybe like mid 90, depending on the volume.
Should be
that's not a bad. Yeah, plus control time, maybe like 95, 96. That's not bad for 8,300. So if I have any side, I'll probably go Silva. But Silva is on the older. He's 35, making his debut. Finally.
He is, but his UFC debut, man, you would never know he was 35, man. He took Guy down, and it was done shortly after.
He looks like a damn Spartan.
So definitely, I think we're both on Silva then.
Mm-hmm. If I can get him in my line, I'll try to get him in my line. But
next fight, one of my favorites on the card because I'm a huge Billy Q guy. Man, I can't wait for this fight. It's got fight of the night written all over it. Alexander's gonna need to keep this fight on the feet to have any chance. That's really all it comes down to. He's not gonna outstrike Billy Q. He's not gonna be able to out wrestle Billy Q. So it's knockout or bust for Hernandez. And for Billy, I expect him just to go ham. I think he ragdolls Hernandez for 15 minutes if he doesn't finish him early.
I was torn on this fight because due to power, like the only thing that worries me about Billy Q, trust me, I love how he's an entertainer. He says, you know what, screw it. I'm going to leave my hands down. We're going to brawl. You don't want to brawl too much with Hernandez. I'm sorry.
I'm going to stop you right there. He took 94 strikes from Shane Burgess.
Yeah.
Come on.
But
I mean, if Shane couldn't knock him out, I don't see Hernandez knocking him out.
I think Hernandez has more power.
I don't know about that one.
But I think, look, Hernandez is wild. I think he's within a round and a half type of power. Then after that, he slows down, and there's a good chance I think Billy Q could give him the 3-piece and the biscuit throughout the whole fight.
Well, especially after Hernandez struggled against Moicano. Now, Moicano's grappling is probably better than Billy's, but I think Billy has the better wrestling.
Yeah.
And when you chain takedowns, we've all seen the amount of points that you can rack up from that. So, yeah, I mean, 8,700, I think Billy Q is.
86.
I'd take 86, even better. I'd take it all day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would assume Hernandez is going to be in your dog pool.
He's in my dog pool mainly because he has the more probable for early finish within under 1.5. But I'm not gonna. I do like Billy Q even since his Ultimate Fighter days, and then he worked his way back into.
I'm riding Billy Q. I will continue to ride Billy Q. That's my boy. All right, next one we got Chris Curtis and Buckley. Man, Buckley drives me nuts. I actually took Chris Curtis to win, and there's a reason for it. So the only thing that with Curtis that worries me is he tends to stand a little flat-footed, and that can get you caught against Buckley. That said, Curtis throws about twice the volume that Buckley does, and he's got huge power. And all it's going to take is one clip, and Buckley's, he gets hurt, and it's going to be over. So I think this is a fight to target. One guy's going to go down more than likely. It's so close that I like the dog.
Okay, this is where we actually agree. I'm actually on the dog too.
All right.
You saw Chris Curtis against Halls. Halls was lighting him up like a Christmas tree with the kicks, the 1-2s. Curtis was landing the small little counters, and all he needs, like I said, I think Curtis is a small 185, but he doesn't want to cut. Understandable, cool. But he has this sneaky power in his hand. It's not even a full length shot; it's a short boom. And I don't know how he lands so much power, but once he connects anybody's chin.
Yeah. It's like one punch, man. It's just like, done.
I remember when I first saw him, I was like, Chris Curtis don't even got no power like that. And then I saw when he did the hauls, I'm like, excuse me, okay, never mind, I take it back.
Sorry, and the other reason that I went with Curtis, I went back and watched a bunch of film and tape on Buckley, because if you look at like his last, we'll go back 7 fights, and we'll go back 8. It was Kevin Holland who beat him, which, I mean, Kevin Holland is Kevin Holland, it's whatever. Then he comes out, he had that ridiculous back spinning kick against Impa, and then he beat Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright is, a bottom tier fighter. He lost to DeKirko. He got knocked out by him.
Okay.
And then he goes to win 3 in a row. He beat Antonio Arroyo, Razak Al-Hassan, and Albert Duraev, who is a grappler. None of those are huge names. None of them are big wins. Chris Curtis, though, because Buckley came out and lost to Nasruddin Imavov. So, but Curtis beat Vieira, he beat Allen, he beat Hawes, and then he lost. He did lose to Hermanson, but Hermanson looked like the fighter that he was. So I'm not even going to go into that, because Hermanson just looked normal. Curtis, to me, is the better fighter over Buckley.
I know also Curtis took that fight short notice against Hermanson and went to a whole nother country.
So, yeah. Right. Well, I mean, that makes it easier for both on the dog.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Another, this next fight, I don't care for at all. Edmund Shabazian and Dalcha. Lungiambula. Both guys are on 3-fight slides. Edmund is definitely the better fighter of the two. If he avoids getting knocked out, he's going to win this fight. I don't think he pays off at 9,600. Is it
94?
I mean, okay, so unless he clips him early, but I mean, Dalcha is pretty durable. He's just not a super great fighter. He tends to fight really wild, throws himself just nowhere, and he's got a lot of muscle mass, so he gets tired quickly.
The only thing about this fight, I know, so I went to go watch Lugabula's fight against Cody Brunage. He was winning that fight. He was rocking Brunage. Brunage was falling up and down, and I don't know how. He got tired early. He's like, you know what? I'm rocking him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to shoot a blast double. And what happened? He left his neck, and he got submitted.
Yep.
And Shabazian, I'll give Shabazian, he fought, he had a little short early run, and then, he's still young. He's not old. He's like, what, 25, 26?
He's still a good fighter. He ran into 3 buzzsaws. He had Brunson, who completely reignited his career, then Hermanson and Imavov. So, I mean, it's not like he was fighting nobodies. Say what?
I think the UFC is giving this fight to Shabazian, saying, look.
To get him back on track.
Get him back in, look, you get this win, you're staying in. I think Lugabuma, he's 35, 36. He's on his way out. But the one advantage I will give him, he does have that judo background, and Shabazian does get taken down.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure how much it'll matter in this one, because I think he's going to get right back up, even if he gets taken down. So I don't know. I don't want to play it in DFS, because I don't think a big score comes out of it without an early finish. But I definitely I want no part of Lungiambula.
Nope.
All right, we got Rosenstruck and Chris Daukaus. Man, I went back to the well. I have taken Chris Daukaus. I've been on him in every fight. I'm going right back to him. I'll let you take this one first.
So I like this Daukaus brother. I don't like the other Daukaus brother, because the other Daukaus brother is a BJJ nerd. None against people that do BJJ, but I'm sorry, if you only got that and you don't have no type of takedowns to back it up, what the hell are you doing?
All right, you can talk about Kyle another time.
Yeah, I'll talk about it another time. But Chris, I love Chris.
Yes.
That man, look, I respect him. He's also, I think he's a fireman. And hey, I always got respect for that. My dad was law enforcement, but that man, Chris Daukaus, got hands. That boy got fat. He's probably one of the fastest heavyweights. And he's well-rounded. One thing I didn't know, he actually has a BJJ black belt, which we've never seen yet.
No.
So
I'm kind of surprised.
One thing I would love to see him light up fucking Rosenstruck. Shit, get a takedown. Fool him out. Start punching his ass out. And he's open. get a sub. But
It'd be fun to see.
But ideally, I don't think that sub's going to happen. I just think within under 1.5, someone's going to sleep.
So this is why I'm on Dawkins. Rosenstruck has power. We've all seen it. He's got massive power. It only takes one shot, but he does not throw very much.
Nope.
The other part of it is his striking defense sucks. And Chris Dawkins is going to come forward. He's going to come fast, and he is going to light him up. All he has to do is avoid that big shot, and he is going to completely tear Rosenstruck apart.
Yep.
I mean, it's not even going to be close. He's got 3 times the volume, and Dawkins, I mean, he did lose his last 2 fights, but he was going against Lewis, which Lewis can put anybody out. Rosenstruck has a similar build, so if you're on that train, that gives you all the reason to go with Rosenstruck. But then he came out and he lost to Blades. Well, Blades is a top 2 or 3 fighter in this division. So
yeah, I'm not taking too much away from that one, but
yeah,
he got caught bad in that fight though.
But going against Rosenstruck's defense sucks, and I think he's not going to make the mistake he made in the Lewis fight. I really don't. No. I think we're going to see the Dawkins from 3, 4, 5 fights ago, and it's just going to be over real fast.
Yeah, I think Dawkins needs to actually push the pressure, because if he tries to play the outside, Rosenstruck's going to get the kicks going. And then as soon as Dawkins tries to come in, Rosenstruck's going to hit him with a counter. But I'm on Dawkins. I hope he comes out aggressive, gets in the face early, because from what I've seen when Rosenstruck's on his back foot, he's not that good. Yes, he has great kickboxing, but not many people can fight off their back foot. And he's one of them, and he just folds under pressure.
Yeah. I was really happy when I saw that Dawkins was as big a dog as he is on DK, because I'm all for it.
7,500.
He wins that fight in any capacity, and he's going to hit value, and he's going to pay it off. But I think he smashes it, so gives me another easy dog to go with. All right, the debut everyone seems to be waiting for with the 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. versus Jay Perrin. If Rosas was going against just about anybody else other than Perrin, I might be on them. I did mention in my article that Perrin does have the experience advantage because Rosas is 18 years old. He has not been on a stage like this, but he does get the advantage of facing Perrin, who, well, he kind of just sucks.
Take that fence ain't that good either. I'll give Perrin the striking advantage, of course. He does probably hit harder.
Yep.
Rosas doesn't, from what I've seen, he's not too comfortable on the feet, but he'll throw to try to close the distance,
level
shoot
change.
And I'll give to him one thing. I'll give to him for his age. He's very good on BJJ, and he's not one of these kids where he has no wrestling. He has some wrestling, and he's improving on it. He showed in the Contender Series fight, kept taking the guy down.
Dude, he took Gutierrez down, and then he spun him around in circles just constantly.
He's a damn
he looked super impressive in that fight.
If he can do that kind of stuff this next fight against Perrin, at 9K, he's worth it. But the only thing that stopped me is his debut and his age. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like, let's say he gets caught up in the spotlight. He can easily get caught up in the spotlight, and he's already, him and Perrin got into it a little bit. Nothing too bad.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. Oh, if you want to be Santa Claus, after this fight, I can make your wish come true. Just bring me a Christmas present. But all that's goofy shit. But I'm going to see how my line looks. If I can get Rosas Jr. in it, because I like his advantage on the ground. And if I know, only thing is I don't know how's IQ's going to look on a big stage. And that's the only thing that does scare me. So,
do you know who's going to be in his corner?
I don't.
Be curious to see if I can find that out real quick. I do think that the second that it hits the ground, it's going to be Rosas' game to lose, because he's going to just maul him.
He is a snake on the ground. I don't even know what Jimmy trains at. I just know
his brother's in his corner.
I know his last fight, his parents had to sign a permission slip.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny?
He was 17.
All right. Well, yeah. So it sounds like we're both on Rosas. I'm not super confident in him just because he is so young, making his debut, and Darren has the experience on the big stage. But it's hard not to go with the kid, given his, how good he looked in the Contender Series. All righty, we are to the main card, and man, I'm so mad at myself for this one.
Yep.
Oh, man, I love Mitchell, but I went with Tapuria as my pick.
So did I.
Hate myself for saying it, but then the biggest reason that I did is the ground, they're going to be really, really close. The biggest difference in this fight is going to be Tapuria's at striking and the amount of power that he has. Because both these guys, I'd say Tapuria has slightly better wrestling. Mitchell's got slightly better grappling, but Tapuria has 10 times better striking, and that's going to be the issue.
That's pretty much how I pretty much had it written down. Like, Mitchell is definitely live. He's a sneaky wrestler, but is he the wrestler of Tapuria? No. Does he have the better BJJ? I believe he does, but at least Tapuria knows what he does when it comes to guarding it.
Yep.
But Tapuria is more explosive.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't see Tapuria finishing him because Mitchell is so damn fucking tough. And I think this fight could go 3. I think this fight could be a potential burner. I think both fighters have their moments, but I might not even touch the fight as a DraftKings. Like, the prices aren't bad, but
no, you got to take one or the other. One of them is going to score ridiculously well because it's going to, even if it takes place on the mat for 15 minutes, it's one of them is going to be controlling the other for that entire time. Whether it's, I mean, and you get points for reversals in this too. So, I mean, who knows how many of those we're going to see? Who knows how many takedowns we're going to see between the two? This could be just, this isn't one of those matches where the wrestling is going to cancel each other out. We're going to see a boring striking match. No. It's not going to happen in this one. So the way that I see it is one of those two is going to take over, and it's either going to end early or there's going to be a ton of control time.
I would rather Tapuria than me going Rosas Jr. at the moment. That's just my gut feeling, and it's also a salary saver. But I'm gonna watch weigh-ins. I always like to determine off the weigh-in too, but
yeah, we'll make a note of that at the end of the thing.
But here. My pick is Tapuria. And if I'm gonna play online, I'll probably have. I got to move some stuff around, but I could have Tapuria because I'll have some of my dogs in there already.
Yep, definitely. So both of us on Tapuria. Next fight, I'm not a big fan of Darren Till and Dricus du Plessis. I'm all over du Plessis. I think Till is a sniper. We know how good his striking is. He's very technical, and he could easily catch du Plessis with his hands down because he likes to fight that way. The problem that I have with Till is he does not throw much volume in any fight ever. He relies on just landing hard and landing solid, and against du Plessis, it's not going to work. We have already seen du Plessis get stunned and then come back and just wallop.
Oh yeah.
And if he comes out with the volume that he has been, Till's going to fold. Oh, and it's going to be fast.
The only thing I'm curious on, I want to see, like, Till actually looks in great shape this fight from what I saw so far. I know he's been working with Chimaev, so we'll see how his cardio looks. Maybe he has more volume-ish, but I think he shouldn't have came back against Brunson. You could tell he wasn't 100% against Brunson. He came out and said he wasn't 100%, but not every fighter will be 100% during all their fights. But I think this is going to be a fight where I think Till's going to try to prove that he still can be an overall contender in the top 10. Right. But I'm on du Plessis. I think he's more well-rounded. And how I see it is I think Till could get rocked. And I think there's a chance du Plessis could get a hold of his neck.
That's what I was about to say. So Till has been wanting to fight a striker. He's like Wonder Boy and is tired of fighting grapplers and wrestlers. But du Plessis, though, he comes out with his striking. He has that in his back pocket. So I feel like even if he gets in trouble, that's what he's going to resort to. So I don't think Till has a chance in this fight.
The crazy thing is everyone says, "Oh, du Plessis is a legit striker." Oh, he's a good striker, but he actually has more submission wins and more than he actually has more knockout wins.
Yeah, du Plessis is a stud, and we've in the UFC. If you didn't know who he was coming into it, you only know about the knockout power and his striking because he hasn't really done a whole lot of the rest of it. But man, he is solid all around, and I am excited for this fight.
800. I think he needs round one.
Round one, round two. He's got high volume, so that could translate.
I think he can maybe score like the the 105s, maybe if it's like round 1, round 2, maybe low ones to like 99, 98.
Yep, I agree with that. So both on Duplessis.
Yep.
Next fight we got Santiago Ponzinibbio and Alex Morono. I'll let you take this one first.
Okay. I'm on Morono. I'm sorry. He's the type of guy that he'll take any fight, any weight, anywhere. And he's no slouch. He is well-rounded as hell. He has very good volume. And he has sneaky wrestling. And he has sneaky power. One thing as a kid, I remember watching Santiago Ponzinibbio on Ultimate Fighter, Ultra America shit. And if it wasn't for his injury, he would have won the show. But I think he's on the downfall now. He's on 2 straight for 2 splits. It was close fights. But I have a feeling this can be a fight where Morono just doesn't take his foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, you bring up his injury, and that's, I think, his downfall at the moment. He has not come back 100%. He's hesitant. He does not look anywhere near the same. And if Alex Morono had this fight on a full camp, I'd be 110% on him. Right now, about 80, because I do think he's the better fighter. I think he is going to win. His volume is going to eventually take over. I don't think we're going to see a knockout in this fight. I think it goes to a decision, and it's going to be somewhere like 140 strikes to 90 with Morono on top. And you don't have to worry about damage in this one because both guys can do it. So it's going to come down to who does that. And if Morono decides to sneak in a takedown, I mean, it's just going to be all she wrote.
So Morono, I think Morono's the better value at 7,500. I know people are saying, oh, it's short notice. This isn't his first short notice fight.
He's also not a debutant. He's not making his debut. He's done this over and over, and it's a catch weight. So it's not like he's working out every day. We already know that. It's not like he isn't ready to fight. He just wasn't ready to cut down to weight. So they're fighting. I'm pretty sure it's at a catch weight, isn't it?
180.
Yeah. So, I mean, Morono is going to be perfectly fine. He's going to be in shape for this fight. And when you see him on the scales tomorrow, you're going to see that he is perfectly fine.
Yep.
So, unless we see Ponzinibbio of 4 years ago, Morono is going to take this fight, and it's just going to be another dog.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I like Santiago, but I think after this fight, they're going to really start questioning, maybe should he hang it up? Then I think what's going to happen, and they're going to give him another striker-type fight. Honestly, someone asked me about this fight, and they said, they asked for the loser. Who do you think the loser of Ponza and Moreno should fight? And I said straight up, give him Phil Rowe. Santiago and Phil Rowe wouldn't be a bad fight. It would be like boom, boom, because they're both, one gets rocked, boom, comes back, boom, boom, boom. But I know you're not too high on Phil Rowe, but Phil Rowe always finds a way to get shit done. But
he's driving me nuts, is what it's doing.
Can't count the kid out.
All right. So we're both on Morono. That makes it easy. Actually, I think we've been on the same pick just about every fight so far.
Almost, yeah.
All right. This next one. Now, we talked about this at the beginning of the week. I went back to the baddie. I did take Patty the Baddie Pimblett to win this because I see this going one of two ways. I think Gordon is either going to score the knockout, and I told you that, or Patty's going to get the early submission. And the reason I was on Gordon at the beginning of the week was because we have seen Patty get stunned. But then I went and watched some of Gordon's past fights, and I think people are hyping him up like nuts for no reason. So if you look at his last 5 fights in the UFC, he's had 4 of them go to a decision, and the other one, he got submitted by Grant Dawson. Patty has better grappling than Dawson. I don't care what anybody says. He does. Dawson's striking is 10 times better.
Yep.
But he couldn't knock out the likes of Chris Fishgold, Danny Chavez, Joe Selecki, or Leonardo Santos. I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Patty. If you couldn't knock out one of those guys, sure. I mean, you could land square, but Patty's got a chin, man. We've already seen it. He gets stunned and somehow he recovers super fast and he gets right back into it. And the second that this fight hits the mat, and it's going to be done. Patty is going to completely just rope him, and it's going to be just like against Jordan Levitt, where he sneaks around the back and just takes it. And Levitt is 10 times the grappler that Jared Gordon will ever be. So I went back to Patty, and that's where I'm sticking.
So the only thing I'll give Gordon the overall advantage is I think he does have more power, but he's not accurate with his power. He'll throw wild overhands and hope it connects. But one thing I do give him the most advantages, he is the better overall wrestler. Patty has good takedown defense for the most. I think, Levitt has the old school, like Matt Hughes-ish. Okay, I'm going to wrap my arms underneath your legs and slightly pick. But I give it to Gordon, he is more of a wrestler.
Yeah, but so if he wants to try to use that and he tries to go to the mat, he's screwing himself.
He's going to have to try to close the distance on Patty, like try to clinch, maybe hold and make it a boring ass fight, maybe get a couple takedowns, try to stay more in position over attack. And there's going to be a lot of boos, but I hate it. I'm not going to say I hate it because I like Patty. I mean, you've been on Patty since day one.
Yep.
So do I do it?
Let me give you this real quick. I don't know how much you've looked into Gordon. His last knockout came in 2017.
Oh, I know.
So, and that was against Quinones. So I don't know why everybody's hyping up Gordon so much. I tried to figure out why, and I couldn't. That's really what it came down to. And that's why I went back to Patty, and I think he does it again, and the crowd's going to go insane.
So we're going to hear Patty the Baddie. So yeah, I got to stick with Patty.
Yep. We can't back off our boy now.
Like, I know before we were considering it, like, I don't like how Patty, the interview, that's a whole different conversation, but I'm sorry, Patty, you made yourself look like a dumbass. That's all I'll say. But
I think it's just being a character.
Hey, Ariel.
He does have to be a little careful. He shouldn't run his mouth too much. But if he wins this fight, he should at least get the respect of everybody, because everybody, for whatever reason, if you're a Patty fan, you're on him in this fight, no matter what. But if you're a non-Patty fan or you don't like him, for whatever reason, everybody is on Gordon. I don't know why. I don't think they should be. I think they're foolish, and Patty's going to make them look stupid. So that's where I'm at. All right. So we got Polish Power against Ankalaev. And to me, this fight is pretty cut and dry. It's either Jan comes up with a big knockout against a guy who's almost impossible to hit, or Ankalaev just makes this really easy, and I think he does. 5 rounds gives Jan a lot of time, but Ankalaev moves so much. His head movement is amazing. His foot movement is amazing. His ground game, his striking. This dude is a complete package, and he should. That his debut that we talked about earlier, his loss to Paul Craig, that was a last-second loss. It probably shouldn't have been. He should be undefeated right now, 19-0, but he's on that 9-fight winning streak, and it's going to be 10. He's going to have the gold, man. I think he holds it for the next 3-5 years.
It is not many people in the division are going to take it away from him, because
he's tough.
Honestly, people are going to say, "Oh, could this fight go 5?" I don't see this fight going past 3. I think, as you said, there's a chance that Blachowicz can maybe counter strike and maybe land, but I don't bet against Ankalaev.
He can't. There's just no way. Now, the problem that I have with DFS is Ankalaev tends to not score well. He did in his last one because he actually got a finish.
Yeah.
But he tends to go to really slow-paced, boring decisions. And if that's the case at whatever his price is, he's 99,000, isn't he?
200.
No, okay, so they're down in the middle. So, I mean, I guess 90 to 100 would hit value, but how much was he?
He's 9,200. So pretty much, if you think that he can get a finish within 3, depending on volume, knockdown potential, but I think if he does hit Blachowicz clean, Blachowicz is gonna fall. He's just not gonna eat and come forward. But
yeah, I think it for sure goes into the 3rd round. I don't think it ends super early. More than likely, if there is a finish, it's in round 4 or 5, and it's gonna be a knockout of some sort, is my guess.
Like, is this a fight you could fade? Maybe, depending on your line.
I think unless you're on Blachowicz.
It's still good volume. Don't get me wrong, but because nothing against John.
In that range from 9 to 95 or whatever, I think there's better value, and I mean that's really what you have to look at. Blachowicz, if you think he gets the knockout, then you obviously put him in because of how cheap he is, and
7K.
That's that.
All right, so
Both on Ankalaev.
Yep, Ankalaev. I can't bet against Ankalaev.
Shit, I don't think we disagreed on anything.
Um,
At least not picks wise.
I don't think so. Yeah. Wow. That's a
All
first.
right. Well, yeah. So definitely pay attention to weigh-ins tomorrow. That's going to be huge. I wouldn't worry about Morono if you are thinking about that. I wouldn't worry about it. Morono's always in good shape. He's used to short notice fights, and he is a warrior.
So before we go, do you want to do like your favorite play? Like I know you do cash too. I'm more GPP, but
My favorite play. I'll do two. I'll do a favorite and a dog. My favorite play for a favorite is Billy Q, man. That's my boy. I'm going to continue to ride that mother, and I absolutely love him this week. And then the dog has got to be Dawkins. Just no doubt about it. Dawkins all day.
All right, so my favorite. It's tough. What's I think? You know what? I'm gonna go do Plessis. He's a killer, man.
He is.
My favorite dog. I know you took mine originally with Dawkins, so screw you.
Hey, we can double up on Dawkins.
Hey, I'm still gonna double up, but I'm gonna give the people another dog. I still like Morono.
I was gonna say you may as well just take our other one and go with Morono.
And imagine what a line with both 7,500 guys.
Yeah, makes building a little easier. Give me a hot take.
Okay, you go first.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Chris Curtis records a 90-second knockout on Buckley.
Ooh, okay. Let me look through. Whew. Damn. Oh God. Once Ankalaev wins, it's not if, it's once he wins. I don't think his first fight's going to be Glover. I think it's him and Yuri.
That'd be nice. It's not really a hot take for that night though, because we won't know that for a while.
I'll give another one. I say Patty gets a sub at some point in the fight, and then I think he's gonna have a name to call out. He hasn't done it lately, but now if he actually finishes Gordon, which Gordon I do believe he's gonna finish every single one of his losses. I think Patty's gonna go round, crowd's gonna go Patty the Patty.
Absolutely.
Patty deserves a top 15 guy.
No, you know what the next fight I think will be? Because they hate each other.
Topuria and
Patty and Topuria.
I don't know. Like
I don't want that fight though.
I don't want the fight to happen yet, but like apparently I heard rumors if Patty gets this win, apparently Dana's gonna set him up for a main event on a fight night card.
He deserves that. There's no reason that he shouldn't have it. He brings more money into those fights than the majority of these fighters.
I don't know. Like, I would love to see them both like get within like the top 10 and then almost like a title eliminator type thing. Similar-ish. I'm not saying they're the same fighter, but similar-ish to like how John Jones and Ryan Bader fought. Both guys at one win away and they were getting that title shot. And I hate to say it, I love Patty, but I think Topuria lights him the hell up. I hope I'm wrong, but
we'll see.
Because Topuria's hands are fucking filthy. But
all right, any last second thoughts?
Oh, so we have one more. I believe we have one more card after this, and then for the year.
I think it's one more card, and then it's off for
a fight night card.
Near 3 or 4 weeks.
Unfortunately, but we'll look into maybe doing other content. Maybe we'll talk about and go for there so we can still put some videos out. But besides that, I don't have nothing.
Yeah, I think the next card will be this. Yeah, it's the 17th, so it is the following week with Strickland, and then there'll probably be 3 weeks off, and then we'll be back with some content. But until then, I got Drake's takes on rotowire.com that you can check out. I got all that information on there. It's a good article. A lot of people enjoy it. Otherwise, leave us some comments, shoot us a message, and we can answer whatever questions you got. And always here. So appreciate you watching.